because I don't know if you guys saw my blog post. I'm the Zero Manifested on Blogger. All right, Chris. Yeah, I saw Christina. I'm gonna talk about our topic first, and then we're gonna get into our readings right after. I don't know if you guys saw the blog post that I put on Blogger, but it was "Oh My Soul, the Devourer," or the Devourer. I don't know why it just sounds so weird. The Devourer, but the way he says it sounds, he said the Devourer. I guess I'm doing too much. I need to put an A in that hole. So basically, that whole topic was all about how there are times when our soul comes to us to actually consume an aspect of our humanity that we're holding on to. And that can be a very painful process of letting go. And we may even be afraid of our own souls or our own self. Your soul will come to you like a very dark entity or a demon, but it's not truly that. You have to feel into yourself. What it'll actually be is that your soul is coming to you. And all right, Ryan, I see you. What it'll actually be is that your soul is coming to you in order to consume a part of you that you no longer need. So when we tune into like the zodiac in Gnostic texts was known as the original archons. And then I connected that in that post. I had connected it to the 12 labors of Zeus, and how Zeus, the hero, hey, how you doing? I'm great. So I connected that to how in the 12 labors of Zeus, he's going through and defeating those lower aspects of the zodiac. So if you look into the mythology, you'll start sort of bringing all the puzzle pieces together, as they say. So that's like really important. And it's important to recognize that this shit isn't all like, rainbows and fucking love and light and whatever. A lot of people do spiritual bypassing, and they always want to pass the blame or the responsibility for their reality over to somebody else. And even though we are co-creators, we have to, obviously acknowledge when someone's trying to fuck with your energy, or when somebody's trying to draw off of you, or whatever the situation is. But the thing is that you still have to understand that at the end of the day, you're the ultimate energy, and you have the ultimate power within yourself to transcend any challenge that befalls you. And I say like any challenge because our challenges are what make us beautiful. Sure, sweetie. My Cash App is there. You can also send through Facebook. I hooked it up, so go straight to my Cash App through Facebook, or just PayPal. And I put it in the chat. If you scroll up, you should see it. If not, let me know. So yeah, basically that's how that aspect works. And that's why I practice now. A lot of individuals are ungrounded. So when they get to this point in their shadow work and in their healing, they will become afraid of their own soul. And then, and then they'll go back to where they feel comfortable. So whether that's Christianity, whether that's Islam, whether that's worshiping angels or being like love and light or whatever it is, or worshiping entities or whatever entities. I don't care if it's the Egyptian pantheon. You're worshiping an entity outside of yourself. These are supposed to be like your co-creators, your buddies, your helpers. They're not supposed to be greater than you. Y'all should at the very least be on equal footing. I just got the PayPal, by the way. I don't know who sent. Okay, cool. That's cool. I'm seeing all y'all stuff right now. Pop it up. So that's going to be really important. Okay, that was from Verdell. I see you there. So that's going to be really important to recognize at this time. To not allow ourselves to become ungrounded. To not allow ourselves to become in fear. But instead to actually take time to ground our energy, take a step back. Don't get so caught up in the emotion of it all. Because that's what I did. I was getting these dreams. I was like, damn, why I feel like my fucking higher self is coming for me right now. Like, this bitch finna fuck me up. I was like, God damn, bro, she really coming at me, though. Coming at my top. But I was like, all right, because I was getting visions and dreams. And then one day I just literally laid out on the floor. I was laid out on the floor. I know Babe was looking at me like, this bitch crazy than a motherfucker. He was like, all right, she going through something. But he was very supportive. But he just let me go through it. I'm laying at the floor, standing at the ceiling. I start figuring it all out. It all comes together at one time. And the whole point basically was for my soul to devour an aspect of my personality. So we have Ammit in ancient Egyptian mythology, that when Anubis weighs the heart against the feather, if you don't make it, basically Ammit devours you. She's almost like a black hole. That's how I've actually envisioned her a lot of times. And Ashe to Ammit. And then also in, oh my gosh. Hindu mythology, you have Kali, who's known as the devourer, and she devours aspects of the ego in that mythology. So those are like two aspects, two examples of ancient divine feminine. For Yoruba, it would more likely than not be Oya. And what's funny is these are all known as mother entities. So it's like that part of the destroyer that comes to you, and you have to really face yourself. Babe, I don't think you're gonna find it, love, but I'm gonna let you keep trying. Maybe you will. That's the point that we need to really get to, and to not be afraid when that part comes in your spiritual journey, but instead to realize that there's a greater awakening happening here. There's an aspect of me that needs to be cleared out that's false. And it doesn't mean that it's like trauma or whatever. It's literally part of your astrology. It's a false construct of your personality, and it might have served you well for a time, but when you get to a certain level in your spiritual practice, it's time to release some of that. It's time to become the hero, or go on the hero's journey. And like Zeus, you go on the hero's journey. Like Christ, you go on your hero's journey. And you conquer certain aspects of yourself to where you're like, okay, I've ascended this aspect of myself to the higher level. Now I'm going to release it. I don't need that anymore. And then you actually make room within your physical body to bring more of your soul into your body. And that's a fascinating process. So there's that. Now let's get into some nitty gritty stuff around. I'm surprised that I feel like I wrote notes, but I didn't. Ascension symptoms. So, funny thing, I was having numbness in this foot right here. I pull my foot up like a little kid, right? And it's still there, but it's a lot better. Haven't changed my diet. Haven't really changed too many of my normal habits. And basically what I realized was that as I had this big release, and I talked to a lot of my homegirls, talked to a lot of my spiritual sisters and spiritual brothers, and a lot of people, I say within the last 2 weeks, were going through like crazy ascension symptoms and releasing. My personal story was I was actually in a spiritual bath, and I wasn't releasing human trauma anymore. I was actually releasing trauma in my body, and the visions I was getting were incredible. And I was talking to some of the sisters, some of my sisters on Facebook. We have like our own little group chat, and I was telling them about it, and I was like, this was insane. I didn't know that like we could do stuff like this. But I was actually releasing cosmic energy. So I was going into the multiverse, and I'm releasing, I'm seeing like clearing out of all these energies. And I'm hitting the solar plexus, which is 3D. And all of a sudden there's this big purging happening, but I'm not seeing human trauma. I'm literally seeing cosmic energy, stagnant cosmic energy that no longer can be there, being cleared out. And that was just mind-blowing. And I called on all the goddesses. I thanked them for their comfort. I literally was in on my side or whatever, in my spiritual bath, thanking the goddesses and releasing that energy, because it's time for those. And I was grateful to be able to be someone that could handle releasing actual galactic energy. So I was very, very grateful. So basically, and thank you, Aunt Bella. So basically, it was an experience. And then when I was talking to some of the sisters, we were discussing it, and I was like, listen guys, like, this is why they don't want women to ascend. This is why we're put down so much. We're fucking powerful, and we're more powerful than what we realize. And for my brothers out there, also, you know, y'all are also sun stars. Don't feel like you're left out of this. You have feminine energy within you. The masculine is just another aspect of the feminine. So you're not left out in any of this. You have this within you as well. You can tune in as well and tap in as well. So there's no, you know, we don't judge based on like someone's sex or whatever here. It's all really based on your soul's energy. So the symptoms I have had, for example, was this random numbing in my foot. Now, I haven't been walking as much as I normally do. So what I did to sort of alleviate it, and now it's starting to come back, because I think it was just like a pinched nerve or something, but it's so weird. So I started doing my yoga again. I started just drinking more water, having some tea, like doing cinnamon tea is good for the arteries and your lymphatic system. Peppermint is great for the body as well, for when stuff like this where you want to open your dilate your, you know, blood vessels and stuff a little bit. But Spirit was telling me to do some lemon tea, some ginger, some lemon juice in there. So I was like, all right. So I did all that stuff, and it's better. But what I realized is that it's an ascension symptom, because I never hold water in my body that way. Like, I even have extra water like around my stomach, and this is not normal for me. And I drink a lot of water, so it's actually kind of like rare for me. And I drink a lot of coffee too, but that's usually just in the morning. Oh, thank you. Love you. So what I realized was, and then I wake up this morning, and when Vay got up a couple hours after me, but when he got up, I'm like, I don't know I was like, I can feel everything more. And I'm like, yo, I feel everything more on my skin. Like I could feel energies even deeper, but it was a very subtle tingle. You know what I mean? And I was like, okay. So what happened was all that releasing that aspect of my personality, surrendering to my higher self and realizing that I'm here to serve others, not my own personal agenda. And the only thing that I was really searching for in life and stuff, and that was part of childhood trauma, was for like someone to love me for me, because it felt like everybody always wanted something from me, whether it be energy, time, whatever it was. So like that was an aspect of my inner child that I had to sort of like tell her the bad news and be like, listen, we're not here. First of all, we're not a child anymore. And second of all, there's nothing on this earth for us. I'm glad to have this wonderful man. I'm so grateful, because that's like the most beautiful gift I could have asked for, other than my son. But it was all like, you're not here for this human shit or for this illusion. You're only here on a mission to help others. And that was the whole thing. And that's why it's important for us to protect our energy, because if you have someone in your life that's trying to take advantage of your energy, whether they come with a smile or whether they come at you with a sword, you know what I mean? Protect your energy, because you're wasting time with someone when you can be helping 4 or 5 other people that actually need it and that are innocent souls. So just, protect your energy that way. Okay. So the next thing. Exactly. The next thing is let's get into some of your ascension symptoms. So like I said, the numbness, what I realized was my DNA has actually shifted and changed. So you might get some tingling, some numbness, heightened states of awareness. It's like this, and you'll feel like almost like it's no one touching your head, but it's like not like electricity, but it almost feels like someone's lightly touching your head, but nobody's touching your head. It's just this really divine activation of the crown chakra. And I did a meditation and actually worked on my head, so it would make sense that this would be the result. So then we also have that. We have being very tired. If you're tired, your body is healing. And when your DNA is literally changing and you're activating more of your DNA, and you're bringing more of your soul's energy into your body, you have to allow yourself to rest. Yes, eat fruits, eat vegetables. Part of my activation was actually eating steak. Very weird. For a week, and I don't eat steak like ever. I barely eat like chicken, even though I do like chicken. But I don't eat a lot of meat. But for some reason, for almost 2 weeks straight, part of my activation was actually to eat steak. And I believe the reason, even though I have like chlorophyll, where's my chlorophyll at? Here it is. So I use this in my water. My bad, I got some of it on there, but what is it? Chlorooxygen. This is chlorophyll. It actually helps to build your red blood cells and stuff, but something where Spirit had me actually eating steak. Okay, sweetie, take care of yourself. It was just a weird like activation that I had, and all that stuff. So like kind of like how a caterpillar will get ready to go into a cocoon. They'll eat, and then they're finally ready to go in the cocoon and actually, like, you know, change. That's what we're going through right now. So let's see what else will happen. You might start getting visions. You may have more vivid dreams. You may feel really out of your body. So when you feel out of your body, make sure you sit down and ground. There's so many. You might have a lot of pain in your body randomly. And there'll be no medical real cause for it. Like, you could be getting that numbness, or you could be feeling, like achy joints. You might have, a release of fear. You have a release of anxiety. So that can create a panic attack. These types of things. So this is why I implore you all to begin to journal. Or at least just carry a little notepad or something on you, something small. And, you know, during the day, do an emotional or mental health checkup on yourself. And write down just a couple notes about how you feel. Oh, 9 a.m. Yeah, I feel happy, slightly annoyed, And then at the end of the day, look at how you're managing your emotions throughout the day. I think that's why. I think it might have been helping me for grounding. And it was medium rare steak too, yeah. And I was like, that is so weird. Because I literally, like, I went vegan for, almost 2 years. I was 2-3 years vegan. You know, and I still stick to a mostly plant-based diet. And it was just, like, so odd. Or whatever's around me, honestly. Like, I'll stay mostly plant-based. But when I'm out and about, whatever. I just charge my food at that point. What else? Okay, so we have to talk about some spiritual attacks that you guys have been going through too. So that's going to be some of your ascension symptoms. Be gentle with yourself. Remember, you're purging, and an emotional shift creates a physical shift. Now, let's talk about NPCs, or non-player characters, right? In the Matrix. So non-player characters are individuals who either have their soul binded, which means they can't actually access their soul's energy, but there are entities that are using their soul's energy and operating through their vessel. Or you have empty vessels, or Flare Burn on her channel. She was talking about this. She gets a little out there though, but she was talking about this and she made a good point. She calls them empty seeders herself. So the reason why we have to be very cautious of individuals that do not have soul essence, no matter what color they are. You can feel it. You know when you can feel yourself. There is a part of you that's connected to every other soul. And on this planet, a majority of individuals do not have souls. That's why it's never been up to... Did you find it?
No, not
that's why it's never been up to all of us. It's just the real souls, because it's your energy that runs the reality. Now, I never looked at this as a complete matrix. Part of it is a creatrix. I always looked at it as there's a lot of natural, like nature, spiritual energy in this, whether you think it's a planet or a plane or whatever, but in this realm of existence, but that there is an overlay of energy, and there are beings trying to control the energy. How do you make your spiritual body stronger? Meditation, yoga, emotional healing, expanding your consciousness. That's pretty much how you do it. Yeah, I don't have any any advice that's out of the ordinary. Healing is very important though, because when you're unhealed, that blocks a lot of your spiritual energy from coming through. So what happens to us when you get sent, we all get sent individuals who are agents of the Matrix, right? Right. Yes, you are fucking Neo. Matter of fact, you're better than Neo. And the Sentinels are coming for you. So what happens is, each of us, as we're awakening... Yeah, absolutely. Wait, do you want to do... do you want to do a short reading? Or do you want to actually, like, do a full reading? Because, yeah, I can invoice you. I can just use PayPal for that. That's not a biggie. Okay, so let me get back on topic. So basically, what happens is first thing you'll notice is they come through kids very easy, and they use our children as distractions. So a kid running up in here, or something happening around me, something falling, distractions will come up. Sometimes they'll make your phone glitch. Sometimes so whenever you have a really message that's related to this, typically something will happen. I guess my energy's gotten to a point that I can actually just talk about it, and I push everything else away. What else happens? So what also happens with this energy is that certain individuals get sent to us to slow down our spiritual process. Now, our higher self and our soul is so brilliant and clever and beautiful that as long as we stick to our inner knowing and stay in tune and in alignment with our soul will use all of these people as a lesson. Now, some people are not empty seeders, but simply their soul is actually binded. So because their soul is binded by these entities, or whether they have made a contract with certain entities, consciously or unconsciously, they may have made a contract with these entities, so they don't have access to their soul's full energy. So those are those people that you'll meet, and you can feel that there's something really special within them, but for some reason you can never get them to like show it. They always self-sabotage or do the opposite. Flair Byrne talked about this too on her channel, and I want to bring this up because I had family members that used to do this, and I was like, holy shit, this shit is crazy. Like, this shit is real. So what happened with my family members is they would do these mind loops. So someone who doesn't have a soul, they glitch like a robot. And they do, I just saw it, my love. And they do these mind loops. So the mind loops, and it's weird because I swear, like, I had friends, family, and I'm looking back and I'm like, holy shit, they really didn't have souls, and I really, really fucking thought they did. Like, I really cared about these people, and I'm caring about a fucking bot, bro. Like, yo, you're caring about a bot that does not have a soul, or whose soul is binded and they're taken over by entities. So basically, and you can't save everybody whose soul is binded. It might be they have to want to save themselves. They might be under some sort of contract. So basically what happens is when you're dealing with, this type of thing, their consciousness goes on repeat. It's a program. So these are people who, they'll tell you, you ever been around those people who say the same story 100 different ways, and they're just talking about their problems, but they keep looping as they're talking? It's really fucking weird. Like I could never do this because I was like, are you not dynamic enough to come up with another narrative, or like explain the issue, accept my advice, or whatever, and let's move on to talk about something else. It's very fucking weird. But they have a limited range. I should have got my other lighter. But they have a limited range that they can actually speak on. Oh, thank you. Thank you, baby. They have a limited range of things that they can actually speak on. So they'll always have, if it's a baby mama's issue or whatever the issue is, say they always have an issue with their car. But if it's not their car, it might be somebody else's car. And it might be that somebody was drag racing, or this happened to someone's car. Like, it's always like some weird loop. Or if they always have an issue with girlfriends, it'll be like that their girlfriend is always fucking with them, or is very narcissistic, and like they try to make themselves the victim. And it's like, this person's not real. They do not have a soul. They're a bot. And you are acquiescing and giving your energy into a black hole, essentially. So these person come to waste your time. And a lot of times when you get involved with a person like this in a relationship or whatever, I'm telling you that what they do is they send the ones that have a lot of emotional trauma, and that have a lot, and that you can feel how strong their soul's energy actually is. So you, being an empath, being this beautiful being, healing your trauma, kicking ass in life, you know what I mean? You're like, man, I really feel a connection with this person. It's going to work, whatever. And then you're like, what the fuck? You think you did something wrong. No, this person has no fucking consciousness. Yeah, she said, and then come back with the same issue each time you see them unsolved. Yeah, exactly. So that's how they come. And you'll when you're fucking psychic, bro, you see weird shit. You'll actually see entities. Hey, sweetie. What's up, Elijah? You'll actually see entities flipping in and out of these people. And you'll see, like, if you look at their eyes, you'll see them kind of flicker or switch. And you'll realize it's something different than that actual person is looking at you. And it's fucking weird. I mean, I've had really strange experiences where a couple years, I want to say this was like 4 years ago, my chakras were getting an upgrade. So my whole energy body got an upgrade. So I got all this light pouring out of the top of my head. And I'm like, oh my God, my energy body is insane right now. And I go for a walk in my hometown. I guess I probably went to get a pack of cigarettes or something, because that's what I would be doing if I was going for a walk. And I shit you not. Yeah, they don't listen to any advice. And I shit you not. There's a fucking empty seater, right? There's a fucking NPC. And the dude, some old white dude. And I look at him. And at this time, someone without a soul, their insides would look like rotting meat to me on a psychic level. So I saw that and I was like, okay. And he just stops. He's about to cross the street. He's looking at his phone. This dude is some random old white dude. And he just stops and he goes like that, slow as fuck, bro. I was freaked out. I was like, I called one of my spiritual homeboys. I was like, what do I do? How do I turn this off? I gotta turn this off. My energy's too high. Oh my God, I got these fucking archons. Blah, blah, blah. And he's like, bro, calm down. Zip up your fucking chakras. And I was like, how do you do that? He's like, just think of it from your root chakra to your crown as a zipper, and you're just pulling your energy in. And he's like, you can do it as a buttons or you can do it as a zipper. So I just sat and I visualized it and I did it and I felt much better. But it was like, I mean, now I should just fucking give up because my energy is way too high anyway. Like, fuck. People actually run away from me now because my energy is so high. But back then, I was still trying to get a handle on it. You know what I mean? So it was like, it like creeped me out when I started seeing people with their fucking entities attached and on them and in them actually responding to my energy that way, where it was very fucking creepy. Now I deal with other shit, like, you know, people actually trying to take over my consciousness, but that's a story for another day. This is, what, the third time we've dealt with this? Well, I've dealt with this. Yeah. So what happens, I'll explain another day what consciousness swapping is, and when you can see the warning signs when someone's actually trying to steal your consciousness and trying to actually embody your energy. So we'll talk about that another day. Maybe I'll go live again tomorrow. It's the full moon anyway, so it'll be a good day to kind of talk about something like that. Thank you, sweetie. So yeah, that's basically what happened with that situation. And that's how you can sort of recognize, you know, the loops, the trauma loops. They're always going through the same thing. Nothing ever changes. And what these people seek to do is to get you caught up in their web or their trauma with them, like you're on this fucking wild goose chase, and it makes you forget everything that you usually do. So like if you usually eat a very healthy diet, all of a sudden they're bringing home like all kinds of foods that you don't eat, and you're like, what the fuck? And what they seek to do is to make you comfortable with things that are not in alignment for you, but they feel good. So that's really getting you like, it's almost like a way to trap you in desire or trap you in the physical. So I need you all to be very aware when you come across these types of beings and people that have these attachments on them, or people whose soul is binded, so they have all these entities inside of them. We cannot save all of them. And they will play on your empathy. They will play on your compassion. They will do everything that they can do to knock you off your path and keep you from raising your frequency and turning on all that fake junk DNA that's really 12 strand. It's probably 13 strand, but you know, that spiritual DNA. And I've always seen the other more spiritual parts of the DNA as light codes and energy. So I see them as spirals and spirals, but like this pure energy. All right, I think that was everything that I wanted to talk about for our topic. We getting tired? No. Now let's